I dated a girl for a year, and we went to Miami. She got really messed up, and so I was like taking care of her. And then we get back to the hotel, and her phone goes off, and it said, "Hey, it's Mike from SA," and it was seeking arrangements. So I found out that she was going on dates with random guys for money. So yeah, left her in Miami. Came back to LA.
Yeah.
Did you feel like that you were just one of her like sugar daddies? Is that how you felt? Or
Yeah, for sure.
all right, guys. So welcome back to another episode of Hanging Out Forever. Grant Blackwell here with my girlfriend of 8 years.
Asia Corinne. What's up, y'all?
What's going on? And today we have a special guest.
Hello.
Divij Vaswani.
Yeah, you nailed it. Known you for a couple years, and he finally said my name right. No, you always say my name right.
There it is.
Yeah. But Divij is a good friend of mine. We work a lot. Like he does music. He does a lot of things actually. He runs a company that works with sponsorships and works with influencers.
Yeah.
And you seem to be very kind of tapped into that influencer world. We're really interested in that. And I think I just wanted to kind of start this by getting kind of your background and things like that. Cause I think we briefly talked about it with each other, but I like to know like just kind of where you grew up and what kind of got you into the business that you're in now, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I appreciate you guys having me on. I love doing podcasts, and it's been a while since I've been a guest on someone else's, so it feels nice.
Yeah, of course.
You guys have a great setup.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
Yeah.
It's in the, you wouldn't know that there's a kitchen right behind the cameras and there's a whole house.
Yeah. There's a cat somewhere running around.
She's perusing. She's creeping around.
She'll be here
Hopefully
in a second.
She comes on. Yeah. No, yeah. So I from Orange County originally, and I've always been an entrepreneur, like through and through. When I was like 12, I was like flipping fake watches on eBay.
Wow.
I got banned from eBay, banned from Venmo, banned from a bunch of shit. Okay. But my grandpa was a real estate developer. So when I was younger, I went to India and I got to see what he was doing, and I was like, cool. Whoa, like, people that don't have the job mentality, you could really build something cool and have all this freedom. And so I think that early on just like inspired me, and ended up starting a company when I was like 14 called Artist Fever. I was trying to like figure out like how to connect musicians with like brands and stuff. Failed. I had one called surprisemonkey.com, which was like a mystery box website. Failed. Party promotion failed. Like I had probably like 10 different companies.
Yeah.
And then I went to USC, kind of was like, okay, let me just, go the normal way for a bit, because everything I was doing just wasn't working. And once I graduated, I got a job, and I worked in the music industry, and I was like, this fucking sucks.
Where'd you work?
Interscope Records and then Capitol.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was in the marketing department, but I was making like $25K a year, and I was like, this is not it.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's rough.
And so COVID hit, and in 2020 is kind of when things shifted. So I was watching a podcast called Impulsive, and which is Logan Paul's podcast. And there's this guy, Mike, shout out Mike, Malak. Yeah, Malak. He was dating Lana Rhoades at the time, who was the most successful porn star in the world.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in my mom's house, and I was just like, it would be so cool if Mike had like a dick pill. Can I cuss on this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
But be careful with like the...
Sorry. Yeah, I get fidgety.
It picks up.
I was like, it would make so much sense if he had a dick pill brand deal. And that's literally what went through my mind. Okay. So I was like, I Googled dick pill companies. Yeah. And I found this company called Blue Chew.
Yeah.
Shout out Blue Chew. Really great product. You guys should probably like test it out if you need it.
I mean, if they send us...
We'll get you free
product. Yeah, we'll try it out. Why not?
He's like, I don't need that shit. Yeah. But yeah, so like I emailed Blue Chew, and I was like, yo, like you guys should work with Mike. And they call me like in an hour. They're like, we love Mike. Like, let's do something.
Wow.
And so it kind of sparked, and then that, spiraled into me building a company called Divij Media, which is an influencer marketing firm. We got 10 employees. And last year we started doing talent management. So we signed George Janko.
Yeah.
Who's got the George Janko show.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, congratulations.
So I appreciate it. So just business.
You had never met Mike or any of them. You just kind of like reached out to a company on their behalf and was just kind of like, hey, I think that this would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And
I just DM Mike. Like,
oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. He had no idea who I was. I just hit him up, and he responded like an hour. He's like, dude, I use Blue Chew all the time. Like,
whoa.
So it was just like a weird moment. But that's what you got to do. You got to finesse.
Yeah.
You know,
you got to shoot your shot.
Yeah.
I think with him too, because I've actually been liking a lot of his podcast stuff. He's been doing a lot of podcast runs.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he has his own podcast, does he?
Not yet.
Yeah, but he's been everywhere, and he always says he's like, I'm always checking my DMs. I'm always, because he talks a lot about his sobriety and like his journey with that. So he's constantly connecting with fans or people reaching out. So I feel like that was probably the best person you could have reached out to, because he seems like he's always got like an open door with his DMs.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting.
For sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It kind of just worked out that way. I mean, it was just kind of like one of those moments. I think everybody in their life has angels, I think, that come and go. And Mike was definitely an angel that, because he was the reason I met George. Like, he connected us with Logan and with Jake Paul and all these people.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think when those people come into your life, you got to keep them close, and you got to really like recognize like how important they are.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was there anything that was nerve-wracking about your transition from college, and then you said Interscope and Capitol Records, into being a full-time entrepreneur?
For sure. Well, actually, no. It was definitely scary, but like I always had that bug in me. It was just more like, what am I doing? Like, what's the value that I'm providing, right? And I think anybody that is a real entrepreneur knows, like, you have it, but sometimes you have to go through a trial and error process to figure out what that is. And so when I figured it out, it took maybe 7 years of trying things, right?
Wow, yeah.
So when I figured it out, I was like, fuck it. I'm diving into this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you had started that stuff like before COVID. I didn't know that it all kind of happened so quickly. Would you say that it kind of all just happened fast? Like you got the Blue Chew thing for Mike, and then after that, were you just kind of like, oh, this could work. This could be a thing that I do.
Yeah. It actually started with this guy Human. Do you guys ever see those like gold digger pranks on YouTube?
Yeah, that sounds really familiar. Is it like the Lamborghini? They pull
the
up
Lamborghini, yeah.
It's like, oh, you didn't want me until you saw the I have a Lamborghini.
Where like they pull up and they're like, you want to go on a date? And she says no, and then he gets off in a nice car, and she's like, wait a minute,
she's like,
come back.
I'm sure they're all fake. I'm guessing
it's all like staged,
right?
Yeah, all of those are.
Yeah, so I used to manage this guy Human, who was like the pioneer of those prank videos.
Yeah,
and that was in 2019. So I'd kind of like dabbled in it, but
gotcha.
It wasn't until I went fully in, like that's when things started to like actually happen. So
okay,
that is so crazy.
And now you run like a very successful company. You're working with like some of the top influencers and biggest celebrities, things like that. I guess now we can kind of dive into the relationship stuff.
Yeah.
So how does having the success that you have as a businessman, how does that affect the way that you go about finding a girl or women finding you? What's been your experience with that?
It's been a journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really. Yeah. It's my love life has been all over the map, and it's been hard. I think as an entrepreneur, you dive in full. Like, you don't have time for anything except your business, because it's like raising a child. Like, you're building something from scratch, and it takes like all your energy and more. And so I was in a 6-year relationship, and then once I realized what I had, I was like, I gotta like focus on this. So we broke up.
Yeah. And
then since then, I haven't really been dating much. Like I mean, I've dated a little bit, but it's been difficult, especially in LA, where there's like, you feel like people want you for the wrong reasons and stuff. And so I think more recently I've realized like I've just been meeting people in the wrong places. Like Beverly Hills at like 1 a.m. is probably not where you're gonna meet. Maybe, but like probably not. Yeah. So like more recently, going to farmers markets, like yoga classes.
What?
Like, nice.
Like intentionally
to pick up women.
To
no,
find...
no, not to pick
that's
up girls.
okay if it
no,
is.
no.
Like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like maybe it is a problem, but that's.
Well, that's
an interesting way to find a girl.
Like that's in the industry you work in, like maybe in like an influencer or something like that.
Maybe. I mean, maybe, but ideally not. Like I think as I get older, I think I'm starting to realize like what I truly value in a woman, and it's not the things that I thought like it was. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that's why like I've been hanging out. Like it sounds like this is why, but like when I go to Venice Beach and I meet a girl versus I go to like West Hollywood, I'm kind of gravitating towards that more like earthy, beachy,
Earthy.
like
You were saying that earlier.
You know what I mean?
Earthy. Yeah.
It just feels better. It feels more balanced because
okay.
I'm already this like influencer. Like everyone I talk to is an influencer. So like in my love life,
Yeah.
I don't want them to be.
So
Right.
do you want to
that.
date somebody that's like completely outside of what you do? Like you don't want them to be anywhere near that type of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Ideally, I mean, yeah. I mean, it. You know, I feel like love isn't. You can't categorize it like that. Like if I fall in love and she's an entertainment lawyer, then that's cool. But yeah, it'd be nice to like date someone that's like a yoga instructor or like a doctor. You know what I mean? Like something that I don't do.
Do you feel like, so now that would you say not that you've peaked necessarily, but are you at the top of your game as it pertains to your career? What are the women that you're dating like though? So you said that now you're looking for earthy girls, but what were you dating before? And what was it about those women that helped you kind of transition into wanting something else?
Yeah, I definitely fell into the sugar baby trap.
No way.
Yeah. But it was my fault though, because like I was meeting girls, I was, you know, bringing my car, like I was like taking them to fancy spots on the first night.
Yeah.
And that's just not setting you up or me up for success. Like, you know, so now I'm like, okay, let's go on a picnic.
Aww.
And I'm Ubering and like, you know, like we'll go to a park and like go for a hike. And you know, I think dating during the day now has definitely been better than like going out at night.
That
like,
makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah. And then, or like going to like an expensive dinner or something like that. Yeah.
Maybe like 4th, 5th date.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that a lot of women really appreciate day dates because when you meet a guy at night, there is kind of a different energy about it. The energy at night is sometimes a little bit more sexual than I think a lot of people want to go into immediately.
Yeah.
And then you don't know where it's going to end because the night has to end, but the day goes on.
Yeah.
So if you do a day date with a girl, then it could just trickle into the rest of her day. But if it's a night date, then maybe like she might feel like, is he
Especially
going
if
to
you
want a nightcap?
go-
Is he going to want to
Yeah.
kiss? Am I going to
Yeah.
have to do X, Y, and Z? So I think that that's really perceptive of you to pick up on women like going on dates during the daytime.
Yeah.
That is really smart.
Yeah. Or
He's
just
like, I've been in the game for a while.
going
but
on
I
like a
didn't-
picnic date or something like that.
So
It's
intentional too.
It's
Yeah.
because a girl will appreciate that more too, you know, because you're putting more creativity into it.
Yeah.
Like you're not just
Yeah.
throwing money at the situation and being like, okay, that's kind of the easy way out.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, we talk about that sometimes about like, you know, cheap dates are sometimes the most like creative dates or sometimes like the most intentional dates.
What's one of your like dating horror stories?
Do
Like
you
what's
have
the
one?
most, this was insane. I can't believe I put myself in that situation, or this girl was X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Walk us through a
Yeah.
dating horror story.
I got one.
Okay.
It's pretty bad. Like actually, I won't say the name, obviously, just out of respect.
Yeah.
But I dated a girl for a year, and we went to Miami for just whatever vacation, and she got really messed up, and so I was like taking care of her. Like she drank a lot, taking care of her, and then we get back to the hotel, and her phone goes off. Obviously, as any guy would or girl, you look at the phone to see what that is,
Right.
and it said, "Hey, it's Mike from SA." I was like,
Mike from SA.
Yeah, I was like,
Okay.
who the fuck is it?
Yeah.
Like, Mike,
Yeah.
what is SA? So I Google it, and it was Seeking Arrangements, which is the
The
sugar
daddy.
baby site.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I found out that she was going on dates with random guys for money,
Yeah.
and she denied having sex with them, but whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I left her in Miami, came back to LA.
Yeah.
Do you think
Yeah,
that
it's
she was
bad.
doing that with you? Did you feel like that you were just one of her like sugar daddies? Is that how you felt? Or
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, and it was rough though, because like I met the family, she met my
Oh, that's
family.
sad.
Okay.
And your mom is so. I know that your mom is not somebody in your life that you take lightly.
No, for
And
sure.
you don't just introduce anybody to your mom. His mom is a queen.
Shout out, mama.
Shout
I
out
love
to
you.
mama.
Shout out.
She is so sweet. I don't know
Thank
why,
you.
but I think about your mom all the time. I'll like send you a text and be like, "How's your mom?" It
She's so
feels-
sweet.
It
I
feels
really
creepy
appreciate
that
it.
I do that, but I really love
No,
her mom.
I appreciate it. She's the best. All my friends love her. Like through and
She's
through.
great. Your dad's hilarious
She's
too.
so
Your
sweet.
dad's funny too.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, I kind of want to talk about money. Is that something you're comfortable with? I'm just curious to see like how that influences how you carry yourself in life. And do you feel like there's a part of you that flaunts how much you have or what you have as an attraction or a way to like
well, it seems
fly
like
trap women,
you were
I guess.
you were using that at one point, but now you're kind of like pulling back on that because it doesn't seem to be attracting the type of women you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the reality is like, I'm 27, right?
Yeah.
And so when I started my company, I was like 23. And I started doing really well at like 24, 25.
Yeah.
And I feel like people that are young, like for Justin Bieber, right? Like he was a lot younger than me and obviously has way more money, but like when you're thrown into that situation and you have, you know, revenue and all the cash flow, whatever coming in, as a kid, it can get into your head and you start acting in ways that you shouldn't. And so I think definitely for a couple of years, like for 3 years, I had a big ego, like big ego.
Wow.
I was flexing the cars, like the watches, all that shit. Just like it became my identity to a degree. And it wasn't until I went through some big personal things and I found God, like, is when I kind of realized, like, yo, this is meaningless.
Right.
And so I've completely scaled it back. I mean, to me, like, money it's freedom, it's important, but it's also it's the last thing on my priority list now. Like, I care about everything else.
Is that something that rich people say? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that is. It is something rich people say.
Yeah,
I know what you mean though. You went through some shit, so you know I could totally understand that. Yeah.
But no, money's important. Like, would I rather be rich or poor? I'd rather be rich.
Right, of course.
Any day of the week. You know what I mean? It gives you freedom of choice. You could go travel. You could take your parents places. You could retire your parents. You could buy cars, watches. You could donate to charity, your church, you know? And I'd rather be that than be a broke boy. Yeah, for sure.
For real.
Totally.
Sorry to the broke boys, but
it's okay.
Yeah.
Keep working hard.
Yeah, keep working hard.
There it is. Go ahead.
I kind of wanted to get back to the girl that you were dating that you found out was on a sugar baby site.
Yeah.
So do you know like what she did for work? Or was
she was a sugar baby.
That's you knew that.
Yeah. Well, no, did you, like she worked in retail.
Okay, got you. That was like her day job.
She worked in retail or she worked in retail?
It was like a
so
day
she
job.
Worked at a Aritzia. I'll give you that.
Oh,
Aritzia is where they all work there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that actually.
Yeah, no.
She worked at Aritzia.
Worked at Aritzia for like maybe like a week.
Yeah.
And then he quit.
Was he a sugar baby too?
Yeah, no, but he was saying that he was around them. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. I don't know what they do in the hiring
I don't like
process.
the vibe in there.
Aritzia.
Really?
I don't like to shop in there.
I don't think I've ever been in there.
Really?
It's very like neutrals and like nice colors.
I think that the clothes are just like they're overpriced for a bodysuit. It's like $80 for a bodysuit.
Is it like Coachella clothing too?
No.
Oh,
it's like businessy kind of.
Okay.
Like a lawyer or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah. Aritzia. She also did DoorDash, which actually I thought that was cool.
Wow.
You respect it,
Yeah, I love that. Like I used to do Postmates and I used to drive Uber, so like I love that shit. But it was the third job of being a sugar baby that was like I can't associate.
So what is it about being a sugar baby that's an issue for you? Because if she was not having sex with these guys and she was just going on dates and here's rent and here's some money and here's whatever else, right? Here are the perks, but it's non-sexual.
Yeah.
Could you have done it then?
Yes, if she was transparent about it.
Okay.
Got you.
Because just like I went through a trial and error process to find out what I wanted, in my mind, it's like, okay, this is her trial and error process too.
Yeah.
But it's the lack of communication, the lying. Like,
you guys were together for a year, right?
Huh?
You were together for a year?
Yeah, for a year.
You said? Yeah, so that was a kind of a lie that had been going on.
For a long time, yeah. But it's like if she had told me, I would have been like, okay, like let's talk about this. Maybe you do go on the dates and I'll be sitting at the table next to you. And if the dude, you know what I mean? Like the dude tries to pull some funny shit. I'm there to fucking smack him in the head. Like, so we could talk about it. But when you lie, you're just, I mean, that to me is like, you're breaking the most important thing of a relationship.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. Because no hate to any of the sugar babies out there or anything.
No,
it's just,
that's work.
Yeah, that's work. But I agree that I don't think that I could date somebody who does something like that because I think. What was that? Yeah, what was that? Yeah. Let me see your.
No, sorry.
Your
I don't
essay
know.
account.
I should not have reacted like that. Yeah,
No,
I should have
but-
like. Wow.
No, but I mean, because I do
won't tell
I
him
do
either.
get it. Like she's like working at Aritzia. She's like doing DoorDash. She's like, I don't want to do this, you know? So it's
Yeah.
like there is another option for a lot of women out there, you know, like, and it's right there in front of them. It's easy to, you know, it's easy. And, but yeah, I personally, I don't know if I could do that just because mainly like the protection thing of like the danger that I feel like you're putting yourself into.
A sugar baby or a sex worker in general?
Just, yeah, a sex worker in general.
Question.
Yeah.
Same pig, different lipstick?
So sugaring is a
same
part of sex
category.
work.
Yeah.
So sex work is categorized differently. So you have stripping, you have dominatrix work, you have like phone sex operators, girls that do porn, sugar babies, full service sex workers, everything like that.
Yeah.
That all falls underneath the umbrella of sex work. Some people feel like if it's non-penetrative, it isn't sex work. I don't feel that way. I think that if you're using your sexuality or that sexual energy and that aura to get something from somebody that is your client, then that is how I categorize it personally as sex work. But I don't think that you couldn't not date a sex worker.
Well, I think that
I really don't. I think that if
yeah, but I think that I wouldn't want to date some. I wouldn't mind if they had done something in the past, like if they had done OnlyFans or was a stripper or whatever. But I don't think I could date somebody who's currently doing something like that. It just doesn't. I don't like it. I don't
Okay.
like it. Yeah.
fair.
But
Is OnlyFans considered sex work?
Yes, 100%
For sure,
only
for sure.
is sex work.
But I would say too, with like the sugar baby thing,
Anything kink based.
if you compare the sugar baby thing to like them stripping, there's a team of security guards at a strip club, you know, where like if you're a sugar baby, you're meeting some random guy that you've never met, you don't know anything about him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe you have a picture of his ID, whatever, but you don't really know what you're putting yourself into,
Right.
which that seems like almost more dangerous to me, especially like than doing like stripping or like OnlyFans stuff where you're putting yourself. But we have kind of a back and forth about
Yeah.
what I want to ask you this. What's worse, a girl stripping at a strip club or her doing OnlyFans
I
at home?
cannot wait to hear the answer to this question.
She's
Stripping
putting
at a
herself
strip
out
club.
there digitally or physically being at a place
I'm going to say the strip club part.
is worse.
Yeah, because you're being touched.
Yeah,
It's physical.
that's how I feel too.
OnlyFans is digital. Like I don't. If my girl wants to do OnlyFans, go for it. Tell me about it. Let's communicate. But go for it. Do you want to be a stripper? That's different.
But would you be like, okay,
What's your
No,
argument,
there's no.
baby?
That's not happening.
Oh, it's
say
just-
The
something.
mother of my
absolutely
child.
no.
Yeah, and it goes both ways, by the way. Like women, men,
Right.
men, women. Like,
Yeah.
like no. The mother of my child will not be on stage.
okay, fair.
Say your
Fair enough.
argument.
Okay, this is my argument. I think that personally for me, shout out to both girls in that world, but between stripping and OnlyFans, I think that OnlyFans is worse. Not as an identity, right? But I just think that once you put yourself out there digitally, it is forever.
Sure.
People can be screen recording her. People can find a way to stalk her. They could also do that, you know, if you're a stripper, they can just follow you home from the club. But I think that with stripping, there's a lot more anonymity and there is that extra little layer of protection in a way. Like if you have an issue happen at the club, you can have security get involved. If you're doing OnlyFans, all you have to do is shut OnlyFans down for the day. But my thing is not everybody that has done sex work is proud of it later in their years. Some people are, and that's great for them, but some people aren't. And with OnlyFans, if you put your face out there because you're like, this is what I want to do, and then 5 years you change your mind, your face is still on OnlyFans. Your face
That's
is
kind of-
still on
yeah.
Twitter. And
See,
like
there
your
is that
digital
aspect to
footprint
it.
is forever.
Yeah.
And for me, I think that walking into the club and changing your wig, now you're a whole new person. You've totally shed that identity. I just think that that's safer.
Yeah.
I get it.
You
I
can
just
walk
think
away
as,
from it.
I agree with you. I just think as men, there's something about our women being touched. It's just it's a no go.
No.
You know.
Yeah. I totally feel the same
What
way.
would your stripper name be, Grant?
Ooh, I love that.
G thing.
Careful with the thing.
Sorry. G thing.
uh,
Or G string.
G-string or something.
I like
Yeah,
G-string.
something like that. G-string or
That's hot.
His last name is Blackwell, so if he was a male stripper, his name would be the Blackwell, and then it would be like about
and
your
then I
butt.
just go up there and show my asshole
Yeah.
to the crowd.
Exactly. Why do they call
Into
him
the
that?
stage, the black well.
Yeah, don't
That's
do
the
that.
cap for your. That's the cap for your performance.
What would yours be?
What's your stripper name?
I never thought about this. I feel like it'd be like
Diviana.
big.
Big.
It starts
I
with
was just-
big.
Something big, like big,
D.
div, like I don't-
Big Dick Div.
Big
something like that. You know what I mean?
Big
Like,
Dick Div.
BDD.
B double, yeah.
Yeah.
Has been needing some
wow.
BDD in your life.
Yeah, you've heard of BDE, but now
Coming to the stage.
Presenting.
Yeah.
that is super funny. I love that. Yeah.
But kind of skewing off topic of that, you were on
Fuckboy Island.
All right.
Yeah.
So we just, I think, are a little interested in like how that experience was. Obviously we're big fans of dating shows. We love dating shows.
We are big on dating shows. Married
Yeah.
at First Sight, Love is
Love
Blind.
is Blind is great.
Love is Blind is great.
I feel like we didn't
What other-
get as deep into Fuckboy Island as we had wanted to.
We watched it because you were on it.
Yeah, we watched it because you were
Okay.
on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You just saw season 1, or did you see the other seasons?
No, we
too?
just saw season 1.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of flopped. Like it didn't do as well as I think the producers thought it
Yeah.
would.
The entirety of the concept or just your season?
The entire thing, and they
Yeah.
actually changed the name of the show now.
Oh,
It's
okay.
something else.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I forget the name. Lovers and Friends or something.
Oh.
okay.
It's the same show.
I think we saw that.
Oh, I have seen that. It was just like a concept I couldn't understand
Yeah.
because it felt like a competition and like I don't know. What did they change it to?
Well,
Lovers
there's
and Friends is what now?
I think it's just literally the same concept. I think it's just different name. I could be wrong.
Okay.
but-
Yeah. Anyway.
Nonetheless, it was a really great experience.
Wow.
Yeah, I got casted. Well, they originally told us it was going to be like a yoga kind of show, like almost like Too Hot to Handle. Like Too Hot to Handle meets like yoga.
Okay.
Huh.
So I was like, this is great. I love yoga. Like, let's go.
Right.
And so I get casted and I show up to the airport in Miami
Yeah.
and I'm expecting like a couple dudes, like, probably like 3-4 dudes.
Right.
There's like 30 guys when I get to the airport.
Damn.
And they're all great, like looking guys. So I'm like, okay, like what am I getting myself into? We fly to the Cayman Islands and we find out there's only 3 girls and there's
Yeah.
32 guys.
They didn't give you any information.
Yeah.
No,
They just.
you should pull up. We literally found out what the
Crazy.
show was when we were in our hotel room.
Are you allowed to talk about this? Did you sign like an NDA or
Okay.
anything? Okay.
Yeah, it's been a couple
It's
years.
probably
Okay. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was mid-COVID. I was like, sweet, like let's free vacation, like let's go.
Yeah.
But yeah, they took our phones for 2 months.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Damn.
It's
Okay.
intense.
it was wild.
That is crazy.
It was wild, but the girls were great. I got eliminated super early, unfortunately.
You were a fuckboy, right?
I was indeed a fuckboy.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Reformed.
Reformed.
But I had such a blast. The girls were amazing. But honestly, the best part of that was the friends that I made, like the guys.
Mhm.
And Nikki Glazer, who was the host, became a close friend of mine.
She's like huge now.
She's
Yeah,
hilarious.
she just did
blowing
the
up.
Tom Brady roast.
Yeah.
She is funny.
She's an amazing comedian. She's great.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, obviously didn't find love. So
What was it that you were going for though? Were you kind of going for love, or was it more so exposure experience?
it was exposure at the
Okay.
time.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I was like, sweet, like HBO, let's go. Like, hell
Totally.
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, ended up not really getting much exposure at all. So
And your transformation from then to now is honestly kind of astronomical because
Yeah.
like I don't want to diss like back then, but like you're super ripped now. You're always
Yeah, I
at
was
the
fat.
gym. Do you feel like being around?
I was,
do you
You were
feel
thicker.
like yeah, thick. He was thick.
Yeah,
But do you feel
yeah.
like being around all of those men with super shredded bodies was kind of in a way like a reality check for you as it pertains to like your fitness journey, or was it more of an inspiration? How'd you navigate
yeah,
that?
I think so. I was definitely the heaviest one there. I would say like at least top
Really?
3 for sure. And I realized I was like, dang, like because I used to drink a lot. Like I was putting my body through a bunch of bad things, and when I came back, I was like, I'm never gonna be like this again. And now I have abs, so it's all good.
And were you like, did you have already like established your business and things like that before you went?
It was like mid. It was in growth mode at the time, so that was definitely the hard part because like I didn't have my phone, and so I kind of
that's
just
tough.
I had to just trust Lulu. Shout out Lulu, our COO. Like she just held it down.
Wow.
That's great.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
Did they pay you to be on something like that or no?
Minimal.
Oh,
So people do get paid when you go.
You get
on
like a
those
stipend,
shows.
but it's I mean it's not much at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so crazy. I've always wanted to be on a reality show. I always tell Grant, let's break up and then go on a dating show and then meet and then get back together.
I think it's a great idea.
Think so?
I told you.
You think it's a good idea for us to go on like one of those things?
I think everybody should do a reality show at one point in their life.
I think we've had a conversation kind of about it of like, do you think that you, because if like Fuckboy Island did blow up into this huge thing, like almost like Love is Blind type thing, do you think that you would have been put in some type of like Love is Blind box at all, or like a reality
like
show
pigeonholed
box?
to
Because I feel like people don't really take people seriously who go on those shows.
I think it depends on your aspirations, right? Like if you're Harry Jowsey and you're like the king of reality TV, it worked out really well. But if you're like me, who like, I don't want to be put in that bucket because I have all these other things I want to do.
Yeah.
So I think, it's maybe not the best move. Like I'm actually happy that Fuckboy Island didn't get too big. But what I'll say is like, it's definitely like a test in the sense of like you're being manipulated every day by producers. Like, you don't have your phone, like you're being recorded all the time. It's very invasive in your privacy. And if you're someone who likes to have control, it's a lot. Like, you know what I mean?
That's not gonna
I can do it. I think I can do it. What is it like though, that level of invasion? And if you don't mind going into the manipulation aspect of it too, like what are they feeding you? What information are they feeding you? How are you getting any news?
Yeah.
It just feels so, it seems
isolated.
insane.
It's very isolated, and they wake you up every morning at a certain time, usually pretty early, like 6 or 7.
Right.
And the first thing they do is they put on this microphone. It's like, but it looks like a necklace or whatever. Yeah. And so, you want to take a shit. Like they're listening to everything. Like it's very invasive.
Yeah.
And so, if you're like me, I need 3 hours of my morning to like prepare, like get mentally like solid, like journal. Like there's no time for that. You're just being tossed into this like world. And again, in my environment, you were around like a bunch of dudes that you don't know.
Right.
And so it's a lot. It's very taxing on your brain for sure.
What was there one specific moment where you were like, damn, I'm mic'd up and this really embarrassing thing just happened to me? Did you have a moment like that? You're like, oh my God, I hope that does not make it into the cut.
There was a lot of those moments.
Wow.
For sure. I'd have to think back. But honestly, the biggest thing was just like, you got like, imagine you go to the restroom and like they're listening to everything, bro. Like, it's just like,
that would kill
that is kind of weird.
It's just weird.
It's like a sound guy, just like,
he's like
listening to you fart and take a shit. Oh my God, I would be so embarrassed.
Even if you did win it, like, were any of those girls, could you see yourself being with any of those girls realistically?
No.
Yeah.
I definitely shout out Sarah. Like Sarah was the girl that I was going for in the show. She's really cool. We've all hung out after the show and everybody was great, but I'm very picky. So probably not.
Describe to us your perfect girl. You already said earthy. I feel like when you I feel like earthy and picky don't go together.
Okay,
so
you're right. What I mean by earthy is such a bad maybe way of describing it, but like someone who loves nature, outdoorsy, camping, like spontaneous. I think that's like one of the biggest things. But woman of God is very important. Spontaneous. I said spontaneous. Active.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like those are, to me, those are family. Also, the way that people treat service workers is a great.
It's huge.
That is a huge indication.
It's a good indication of how kind they are, and I think for me, she has to be kind. And then physical attributes. I mean, short, petite, like small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I feel like the service worker is a really good barometer, for if somebody's a good person. Cause I mean, I haven't been on a date in, obviously we go on
like
dates,
a week,
but I haven't dated
in the dating
I don't think
pool.
I ever dated ever in my life. Actually, I never dated.
You were a boyfriend guy or girl, boyfriend girl.
What'd you say?
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
I am. I'm a relationship.
But you are.
Girl.
Yeah.
I am.
I was a relationship guy.
I wish I had more of a hoe phase. Do you feel like you've had your hoe phase?
Interesting.
That's a good question.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Definitely college, I would say, was, went to USC, like in a frat.
Right.
Oh,
you were in a frat?
I was in a frat.
Okay, what was it? Which one was it?
Phi Sigma Kappa. Forgot the signs, but you're just throwing up gang signs.
Yeah. Wow. So
good times.
Wait, you were a cap? Were you a noob?
A what?
Not a noob.
What is
a noob?
What are the
Noobs are a different type of Kappa something.
Okay. I thought it was Phi Sigma Kappa.
It's Phi something, but it's not a noob.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
It's a big black fraternity.
Yes.
It's like a really big.
Were you in a white one?
It was predominantly white people. Yeah,
but that's USC.
Yeah,
all
USC,
white
that
folks.
makes sense.
Yeah, USC is super white.
Yeah.
What is the fraternity like? What's the frat boy mindset? Oh my God, I'm so glad that you were in a frat because I have so many questions about it. Okay, so my first question is, what is the frat boy mindset as it pertains to women as a whole? And was it so strong and pervasive that you felt like after college you had to break yourself of that mindset?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, frat boys are definitely fuck boys. Like you don't really care about anything except getting laid. You know what I mean? And I don't watch porn, and so and I'm doing that to train my mind to be, monogamous. I think it's important to be monogamous at some point when you're ready. But frat life is the opposite. Like it prepares you for like warfare, like sexual warfare. You know what I mean?
Whoa. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So are there games? Because I've heard that there are some games that guys are like, these are the girls that are on the board, fellas, and whoever can get to this girl, that girl, you get X amount of points.
Whichever one passes out.
Am I hot or cold?
You're
great.
Sorry. We'll cut that.
No, Phi Sigma Kappa, we never did anything like that.
Okay,
that's
good.
like really too far.
Okay.
But yeah, no,
Dark
for sure.
Joke.
Sorry.
Yeah, that was pretty dark.
I think we should keep it in there because that's funny.
Okay, maybe we'll keep it in there. It's kind of funny.
Damn.
I mean, obviously,
we don't condone.
Yeah, obviously. That's why. Yeah, that's why I wasn't in a frat.
I have to be specific. We don't condone.
Yeah, we don't.
Insane. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was fucking. Yeah, wow. Okay.
Well, what games are you talking about? I don't know what games you're.
He knows what I'm talking about.
There's games. It wasn't what Grant described, but like.
Thankfully, God.
I mean, I remember eating a puzzle.
Huh?
Eating a puzzle.
Was it edible?
Like,
puzzle pieces.
So like we put a cardboard puzzle.
Yeah.
With like salami, ketchup, mayonnaise, like sour cream, blended it. And then there's a line of the frat boys, and whoever you start drinking it here, and then whoever like ends up with it at the end has to finish it.
Is that like initiation? Or
it's
something?
like a brotherhood thing, but there was like a twist about like whoever doesn't finish, like drink a lot has to hook up with girls or whatever. There's like a girl aspect to it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there was some weird shit.
Okay.
For sure.
Puzzles.
You blended the salami up with a piece of cardboard?
Yeah. Like a puzzle, like a puzzle.
Oh, like an actual, puzzle of a puppy.
What was on the
with
puzzle?
Salami.
What kind of puzzle was it? You don't remember?
Just
we
salami.
Drank it,
that is so.
Huh.
How do you not throw up?
That's
no, we
crazy.
did. There was a giant trash can like right in front of us as we were drinking the puzzle.
Wow! Shout out to y'all.
Made you drink puzzles.
That's so crazy.
That's interesting.
Is there a lot of, would you say, toxic masculinity present in frats? And is that just because of the culture of fraternities? Because I know nothing about them except for don't go to a frat party.
Can you define toxic masculinity?
Okay, so I would say that as it pertains
drinking
to
puzzles.
No, that's just crazy. That's just that's just probably like white people shit. I don't know.
That is some white people shit for sure.
So like toxic masculinity as it pertains to frat, which is we're just going to have sex with all these girls and we're going to get into a lot of trouble as it pertains to sexuality. Women mean nothing to us. We're just trying to get them to add another notch on our belt. We don't respect them. We don't necessarily, I guess, protect them, but I don't want to make it seem like predatory. It's not necessarily predatory when I say don't protect them, but just
I'm sure there was
the
a lot
hunter
of
mentality as it pertains to women and using them as conquest rather than people. Is there that?
Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
That's a great definition. It sounds like you memorized that from Webster.
But thank you. No, I didn't.
That was really nice.
But thank you.
There was definitely a lot of that. I do not support that at all. I think all men and all women are equal, obviously.
Yeah.
I think the country is run by women. I think women are to some degree stronger than men in a lot of different ways. There was a lot of that in the frat life for sure. And that's why I didn't stick around for that long because it was just a lot.
Wow.
Did you ever experience, because you said you were in like a white frat, did you ever experience any type of racism or any type
Such a
things
good
like that?
question.
You know, I did. Not in my frat, but growing up,
Yeah.
definitely.
Right.
That was going to be a question of mine
OC,
too.
right?
Like
Orange County, yeah. I was like
Orange County for sure.
one of the few Indian guys that
Yeah.
grew up in that area.
I know that.
How was that like in
It
a
was bad
dating situation as well, like with women?
That's a
Yeah.
good question.
Mm-hmm.
It's so crazy. There was I'm not gonna say her name, but there's a girl. She posted a picture of herself wearing like a towel that looked like a turban.
Jeez.
And she posted on Instagram and she tagged me in her post. There was another scenario where someone made a Twitter or MySpace account that was at Osama bin Laden, whatever, and was my picture as the profile photo.
That is so sad.
These were
So,
people
like-
from like your school.
Yeah, just people from the school,
What are
whatever.
the names? I'll beat them up. I swear.
I'd have to see the names, but yeah, no, you know, my thing is I actually know one of them. He is now a valet at one of the Beverly Wilshire,
Wow.
and he actually opened my car door like a couple weeks ago.
There you go.
Did he remember
You know
you?
what I mean? Yeah,
He
of
parked your
course.
Rolls Royce for you.
You just got to be kind, right? Like that's to me, success is the best revenge. Just be kind to everybody. Like
That's sweet.
so.
I mean, you don't need to say nothing. You're pulling
But
up.
fuck
to,
that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you pull up in the rolls?
Yeah.
Ooh.
There it is.
Osama
Must
been
have started
who?
with it.
Yeah.
Osama been rolling in money.
Osama been balling.
Yeah, Osama been balling.
Mm-hmm.
I know the mileage on this bitch, okay? And I know how big this parking lot is, so. Oh, wow.
But you're not even like Iranian or anything either. Right?
No, I'm
They're just
Indian.
kinda-
Racism
you're
doesn't
Indian.
have logic.
I know. I'm just, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the topic of that, not to, I don't know, racialize things, but what is your type? Like, do you date white girls? Are you dating other Indian girls? Is it all open? Or what do you typically find yourself attracted to?
Yeah, it's fun. I have a sister.
Yeah.
And so I've never dated Indian girls because they somehow always remind me of her
Okay.
in some capacity. So Indian girls for me are kind of just like struck out.
Uh-huh.
It might change over time. I don't know. But definitely Asian women I've always kind of gravitated towards. I think they have their culture is very similar to the Indian culture. Yeah, white girls, black girls, I don't discriminate.
Okay. I was asking because growing up in Orange County, I was wondering if it was so polarizing growing up with so many white people that white women ended up kind of becoming a preference for you, where it was like, once you got to this level of success, did you then feel like you wanted to go out and get the woman that you couldn't have? Which is why I was asking that question.
That's
Oh,
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah.
I never really dated white girls. Now that I think about it, I do think I want to. Like I'm almost 30. I'm 27,
Yeah.
and I'm realizing like I've only dated like one or two. So yeah, I gotta step that up a little bit.
Okay.
Do you
All right, white
feel-
ladies.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Line up,
is
ladies.
ready for y'all to line up.
Do you feel like a pressure kind of now that you're like about to hit 30, or you're not really about to hit 30, you still have a few years, but are you starting to feel like a pressure? Like you want like a family, you want a wife, a relationship at least?
Someone asked me the other day, they're like, how many kids do you want? And I was like, somewhere between 0 and 3.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I truly don't know. I think, hi kitty. Yeah, I have a dog. You know what I mean? Like to me, that's a child.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of work. And I'm a very selfish person. Like person. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I want to get back out there now. I think it's time to kind of date a little bit more.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Do you feel pressure at all, or?
To start settling down. Men's biological clocks are so different.
Yeah.
Like if we weren't together,
but-
I would not even imagine that you would have that pressure.
Is that
at all.
like but do you want like a situation where you're an older guy dating like a younger girl? Is that like intriguing to you at all? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I think it would be nice to find someone that, you know, is my partner in life. Like, but I'm not going to force it. Like when it happens, you know?
That's when you find them. It's when you're not searching.
Yeah. When you're not searching, for sure.
this guy was looking up and down. Don't let him sell that
How
to
did you guys meet? Have you guys talked about that? Like,
Yeah, we have talked about that, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But he was like, "Oh yeah, I wasn't searching." This man, I love him so much. You were so thirsty out here in LA. It was so bad that when we got together,
It sucks because we were friends before we started dating, so she
He
saw
was
all the friend
desperation.
stuff.
It was
Yeah, she was like a homie, so I was like, "Yo, I'm trying to, like on this girl." She saw. Well, did I ever do that?
no. So what happened was like basically we kind of started not dating, but just feeling each other out. And there was this one time, I should have left your ass then. I should have left you in the dust. I'm still mad about it. I'm never going to get over it.
I know.
And so thank you. I love that. You're so forgiving. But me? No. So like there was this girl. She was pretty though. She was actually really pretty.
Don't say
I'm
that.
not gonna say her name, even though like every white girl in America
Say
got
her
this name.
fucking name. Just kidding.
So we had gone to dinner with this group of people that we worked with, and we met at the Cheesecake Factory. And we had gone to dinner, and Grant had a crush on this girl, but we were already kind of messing around. So whatever, he sees her at dinner, he's like, "Oh my God, so and so's here," and I'm like, "I know he is playing with me right now."
Yeah.
And then I showed up with him, so everybody was like, "Oh my God, Asia, you're here with Grant," because I'm not gonna lie, the girls liked you at the job. You know, everybody thought you were so cool, so mysterious, so handsome, whatever. And so, "My God, Asia, you're here with Grant." And I was like, yeah, and the whole night he was on this other girl's ass. It was so embarrassing.
Oh,
like he
for
was sitting next to me. It was me, him, and then her opposite. I'm telling you, he had his back to me all night. I had to talk to everybody else. It was the most awkward thing ever. So how are you gonna make up for that?
I've
8 years later.
I've already made up for it.
But
But
it was really bad. So he was thirsty. He was really thirsty at the
Were
time.
you trying to run the threesome, Grant?
That's a good question.
no, I wasn't.
He was
But
trying to get the easiest
It
catch.
was like, because when I had I met her like right when I moved to LA, you know, so, and I was like so lonely out here. Like it was crazy. Like my situation when I moved out here, I literally knew nobody out here.
Yeah.
And for the first like year I was out here, I just like didn't know anybody, you know? So it was like super lonely. I was like going crazy. Like my anxiety, all that shit was going crazy. And I was just lonely, and I was trying to like get a girl or do something, you know what I mean? And so it came out looking very thirsty and very
because
desperate.
it was, but that's okay. It'd be like that.
That makes sense.
It'd be like that.
But me and her, we met at a restaurant that we had both worked at.
Cheesecake. Let's get
Cheesecake
that brown
Factory.
bread shit,
Yeah.
whatever that
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
What's it called?
it's
just
called
pumpernickel.
like I don't
Oh,
know what
yeah,
it's
yeah,
wheat.
maybe it is.
No,
So
it's
good.
wheat. It is good.
Yeah.
It is good. I'm not gonna lie. Their bread is pretty good.
But yeah, so we met working there. We met literally, we both moved to LA within the same month, actually. Like I moved from Arizona and she moved from Atlanta.
Yeah.
And so we both didn't really know anybody out here. We didn't have any friends. So when we met, we clicked like right away.
Yeah.
Like we were just talking about artists, like rappers, and like we just clicked on a lot of shit. So for the first 2 years that we knew each other, we were just close friends.
I was dating somebody else.
She was
at the
dating
time.
somebody too at the time, long distance relationship.
Yeah.
And so obviously I respected that, and we were just friends. And then they had broken up, and then we were
Slid
already,
in that shit real
just like,
quick.
yeah.
There we go.
But we were just really close, and like she had like been staying at my house. Like she had just been staying the night at my house, like after they broke up and everything.
Not right after.
Not right after. There was like a
Not right after.
couple months.
Yeah, it was a few months. It was a few months.
That's
It was
helpful.
like
so
a
it
few
wasn't
months,
like we
yeah.
broke up and I was like, I'm taking this.
But we were
ass to
hanging out a
Grant's
lot.
house,
We were hanging out a
so-
lot because I was
Yeah.
kind of there for during the breakup. And
It
stuff.
was hard,
Yeah.
but I mean, whatever.
And so she started like kind of just coming around more. We would hang out late, and I'd be like, yo, you can just crash here, you know? And so like it just kind of became that. And then one night I was like, you don't got to sleep on the couch, come on.
There we go. But that's so you wanted to sleep on the couch, and
I was like trying to be like, I was like
Respectful.
Yeah.
I just felt like I'm gonna sleep on the couch until you invite me to the bed. Because I'm not gonna just assume that a man wants me in his bed, and I want to know that you want me in your bed.
Yeah.
So I wanted it to be an invitation, and we hadn't crossed that line yet. Like we hadn't made out or done anything like sexual. So I was like, when are we gonna cross this line? I feel like it's coming. And then when he invited me, I was like, there it is.
you were there before you could finish the sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I had that situation too, where a girl stayed over after a music video shoot. And I said, I was like, you should sleep on the couch. Because you build the comfort level. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then a couple weeks later.
Well, yeah, that's how we ended up meeting. we just came
You guys
to
chop it
LA
up. I'm going to
within
get a
the same
listener
time.
letter.
Yeah, so we're going to pull up a listener letter and we can read it, and we'll just kind of get,
what does that
your
mean? Like
advice on
someone
it.
sending in
Yeah. So
Somebody sent in a story, like a relationship story.
oh, that's cool.
we have a forum so people can like send us their own stories. You know how some
Bet.
people do reads from Reddit? We just like have our
That's
own
dope.
thing. So
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so we'll read it. And
let me get it. But y'all can
kinda
keep
go
chopping
in.
it up. Let me grab this real quick.
How long you guys been together?
8 years.
God damn.
I know. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's beautiful though.
Before I pull this up, actually, you mentioned monogamy and wanting to train your mind.
Yeah.
Just train your mind to be more monogamous.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned porn. Is porn just off the table even when you get with a partner? Or how does porn trigger you and how does that affect your brain?
Nah, when I'm in a relationship, I think everything's anything and everything is an option or whatever. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I think as a single man, it's like not the best because porn keeps you away from, getting uncomfortable, like actually going out, meeting women, like making the effort. It's easy. You just go to the shower and in 10 seconds you're done. You just go to sleep, right? So it makes things easier. And then also you're seeing so many different types of women and it's like, it's very overstimulating and it's just not, I don't think it's a good way to kind of like prepare your brain for monogamy. So I've completely cut it out and I'm way happier.
Wow.
Yeah.
What does it feel like to have cut it out? How do you feel like cognitively that you're experiencing these changes?
Yeah. Semen retention. If you guys have heard of it.
I've been telling him that he should try that. I don't know anything about it, but I just love trends.
It's a real thing.
I love trends.
I do. I love trends.
It's kind of like it's kind of like ice baths, It's like kind of like the top thing right now, where it's
like edging.
if you do this, you'll be more focused.
I
or
did
things
semen
like that.
retention before it became a thing.
Yeah,
Like, I've been on this shit. I'm not trying to
Wow.
flex.
been not coming. Yeah,
I've been not coming. No, it's just when I wanted to get physically like really ripped, I was like, I'm gonna do this. Like I didn't jerk off for like 8 months, and it was amazing. Like you just feel so clear, discipline, right? And you're not like you're just able to control your mind as opposed to like other things, and I love it. I still do it like every couple months or whatever.
I haven't told him. You just start edging, or not edging, but
edging.
What is edging?
That's like when you do it to the brink of don't do it.
it's great. I think I don't know how it feels for a man, but as a woman, it's kind of like being brought there by your partner and then them taking it away from you. There's a certain level of control that's arousing and erotic.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, edge.
No, but I think that I don't know, because the whole like semen retention thing, I feel like it's a little like, I think I have kind of a weird like outlook on it just because it's been brought over into like this like weird kind of red pill manosphere thing, and it's kind of like, it's like if you don't come, then like all your problems will be solved kind of thing. It's kind of like the people who are like, if you do push-ups every day, then you won't be depressed anymore.
Yeah.
And it's also become like this, don't give these women your seed, or don't give these demons your spirit. It's become kind of like this whole weird thing behind it. And I don't know. I don't know if it's a bit like, if you stop like coming, is it really gonna change your life that much?
He said it helped.
No,
for you, it's definitely helped, and that's great. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But do I think that it's gonna help everybody? And it kind of gets pushed like it's gonna be this thing that helps everybody. But with the porn thing, I totally get, because I think that porn can definitely manipulate your mind, and even when you're in a relationship, I think that it can become this thing of like, oh, porn's like the easy way out, or I can just go to porn if I want to come, you know what I mean? Or I can just do this instead of like putting in the work with like your partner and doing this whole thing. Like that can be an issue for sure.
Yeah.
I think, but
I
don't know.
No, I agree with you. I just think it's not just that's going to help you in your life. Like you need to do everything else as a man or as a woman, right? Like you got to work out, you got to, meditate, you got to semen retention. Yeah. Like you got to, like, it's a part of the entire thing. And it's definitely not going to change your life by any means. It might, I don't know. but I think it's like 5% of perhaps.
Well, even if
like,
it is a placebo, if it's helping you or it feels like it's helping you, then it's helping you.
I think it's more so just like a placement. That's
yeah.
hilarious.
Placement.
I think it's more of like a part of the domino effect of disciplined is what I'm hearing. More than it is like, obviously clarity, because sex in some ways can be a distraction. So if you're withholding that, is that mom?
No,
Mom, hi, mom. If you're withholding that, then I can totally understand. And I mean, I don't either way. I just find it really interesting. Okay. I have a TMI question.
Go.
Is this correct? Okay, I'm gonna ask. So like after like all that retention, the next time you do it, is it just like one big like washing machine load?
Sure. Yeah.
No, that's a serious. Definitely. Is that gross? I'm sorry, but I really want to know.
This is the human body. Like, to me, this is a science conversation.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Like that.
Yeah, it's a big nut. Like
very scientific.
It's a lot. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, yeah, it's a lot, but it's and those are honestly like the good ones too. You know what I mean? Like, you've waited for so long. It's kind of like you're on a diet. Like, you don't touch ice cream for like 3 weeks. Like, the ice cream's gonna taste way better at the end of it.
That's true.
That is so true.
I think and then you see things though where it talks about like you need to get that out of you. You know, like isn't there like science people talking about that of like it's good for your testicles and things to like ejaculate and to like it's a natural thing that should happen.
But science is so biased though, because those are all men doing those studies.
They're like, yes.
So of course the male scientists are going to be like, "Don't make me have blue balls, woman. I need to bust a nut."
Yeah.
I just whenever there's science that says or disproves, "Hey, men shouldn't be doing X, Y, and Z," I automatically am like, "Let's get some women on this."
Because it like reduces
put some women on this project,
cancer or something.
Of course, they would say that.
Yeah, but because there is actually. When I was in high school, or no, when I had gotten out of high school, I lived with like two of my friends, and then we had another guy come and live with us, and he was like kind of a friend adjacent, and he was like diehard like Christian, you know, and so he obviously wasn't hooking up with girls, and then I found out that he had never like masturbated either, he had never come in his life. And I was like,
"That's insane.
There's no way that's healthy." You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't sound healthy. I think every man should nut for sure. You know?
Yeah, like, and not every day, you know, because then you're probably watching porn, you're probably doing all this stuff, like distracting yourself. But yeah, I feel like you should do it every once in a while. Like, doing it, like holding it in for too long might be not the best way. Like, I think that there's probably a middle ground there where it's healthiest.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that you guys like we're talking kind of porn adjacent and how it warps your mind and warps your expectations. That is so true, because I mean, I'm not like the biggest porn watcher. To this day, I'm not like a big porn watcher, but I think just the idea of porn and watching how women perform made me think that I was supposed to react a certain way, because porn is so outlandish. It's so like, oh my God, and just very verbal and dramatized. Yeah. And so when we first kind of got together, after my brother used to live here, so after he moved out, we would have like just sex everywhere in the house, whatever.
Here, there, everywhere.
And I remember this one time specifically, our walls are really, really thin. And I remember we were doing it on the couch, and I was just like, just making just too much. It was too much. And after we were done, the neighbors next door were mocking me because they could hear me. Wow. It was so embarrassing. They were like, oh, wow, or whatever they were saying. And it was so embarrassing. But it wasn't until after that I really registered, like, why the hell am I being so theatric? That doesn't even make any sense. And then I found out later that when women are actually really enjoying it, they make less noise. They make almost no noise.
Interesting.
But it's a part of like the theatrics of how we've been socialized to display enjoyment as it pertains to sex for women, that we're supposed to think that it is loud, but it isn't.
Or that's for the guy. Like it's for the guy.
It's a display. Like, you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
But if you're really doing it, a lot of the time, it's quiet.
Yeah.
So
there
it is.
That's a little lesson to you.
Yeah, you never, after seeing like videos of women talking about like, oh, they'll do the fake orgasm to make them feel good. Yeah. In the back of my head, I'm like, dang, like, how do I know if they're actually?
You wouldn't know.
You'll never know.
Mm-hmm.
But who cares? Yeah, at that point, it's like, it's whatever. that's on you.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't know. And some women are just like, oh my God, what do I got to say to get this guy off me? Yeah. So there's also that, but yeah.
I think that goes both ways with guys too. Well, and it's like,
y'all make a lot of noise.
No, I know, but I'm saying like, I think that there's different women that you have sex with, you know, like there's women that you have sex with where you don't really even care if they get there.
Yeah.
And then there's women that, you know, you're in a relationship with, or you feel, you know, more obligated and just you feel like, oh, I want this person to have like all the pleasure and all that thing, you know. So there's different, you know, sexual
So if you're not dating Grant, he don't care.
Bye. I got mine. No, but
stupid.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that is definitely a thing. It's definitely like there's girls that you hook up with where it's like, I don't really care if they like, you know, get there.
Okay. Hot take.
Am I wrong? Come on, help me out here.
You know.
All right, Div, give me a lifeline.
I don't know. I don't know. I think I just I got nothing.
He agrees. He agrees.
I got nothing.
He agrees.
Okay. All right.
So
well, let's get into this listener letter.
We're finna read a listener letter.
Bet.
It's pretty crazy. This is just her sharing her story. So she wants to know how far is too far. And it's a breakup story. So it's got to start like this. I got to get into my actress. Okay. How crazy is crazy? That's how it starts. All right. So I was in a relationship with a guy for 4 years, right? Around last year, it got rocky. Cheating, alcoholism, fighting in public, and a whole lot more. Jeez. So anyways, it was in the midst of us growing apart. You know the part where you're finished, but you still haven't separated all the way yet. Okay, well, I had stayed the night at my best friend's house the last couple of nights because I couldn't stand the sight of him. While I was there, I got a text in the middle of the night from a girl saying that she was with him. So I woke my friend up and had her drive me all the way over to his house. I hopped the fence and broke into his house.
Nice.
Jeez.
Quietly but quickly, I walked into his room. Mind you, it was dark and I couldn't see nothing, but just know I was pissed off, so I didn't care about anything either. As soon as I walk in, I just started swinging on the figure. As soon as I walked in, I just started swinging on the figure in the bed, and I'm talking about hard and wild. Then the figure got up. I assumed it was her, so I took out my pepper spray and sprayed the fuck out of her.
God. Yeah.
The lights turned on, and girl, it was him. Just my ex. No girl, just him. Mind you, I'm already mad and I'm in full-fledged fight mode, so I pepper sprayed him again. And while he screamed and cried about not being able to see, I walked into the living room. He followed behind me crying. He dropped to the ground and I calmly sat in a chair as he crawled towards me, talking about he couldn't see or he couldn't breathe. I sat there watching him squirm around, and all of the arguments and fights and the girls he had cheated on me with just replayed in my head as I was watching him struggle. I told myself that this was it. I had enough. I got up and I left him on the floor crying, and I walked out the front door. Everything that happened next is far too much to type, but yeah. Was this too far?
So he wasn't cheating on her though.
He had been, but he wasn't at the time.
So what was the beginning? So she got a text.
She got a text from a girl saying that she was at her man's house.
Okay.
And so that pissed her off. So she was like, well, I'm going to pull up because he's been cheating on me this whole time anyway. Yeah. So I'm going to pull up and I'm going to fight this girl. And like, she probably wanted to fight him too.
Yeah.
And so she gets there, and apparently what it looks like is that a girl set him up. So he was set up, basically. So a girl pretended that she was with him, knowing that she wasn't. And then when this woman got to the house, there was nobody there, just him.
Yeah, but that's still, she seems pretty sadistic because she was just pepper spraying him, watching him squirm on the ground. That's it. It seems like she enjoyed that a little too much.
I just don't think violence is the answer.
Yeah.
Like that could have gone really bad for her.
That's true.
Like he could have died. Maybe he stopped breathing.
Has asthma. Good point.
Now you're in jail for murder. Good job.
Or heard somebody breaking into his house and pulled out a gun and shot the person that's breaking into his house.
Yeah, it's just like there's so many negative potential consequences. I think she, out of emotion, made a really bad judgment call. And I think it's a great lesson, though, because anytime you have heightened emotions and impulse, you want to act on it and you want to do something, right? You shouldn't. You should take an hour, 2 hours a day, calm yourself, and then make an action after. And you'll always feel better about it because you made a smart move. So I think that was not smart.
And she already knows that he's cheated on her plenty of times before. Like what made her stay then, you know? And you know what I mean? Like if she's reacting like this to him cheating on her in that moment, like what makes you think that he wasn't going to do this again? If he's already done it before, like I feel like you should have left before.
Yeah.
If you're going to react like this, like you should have already left the situation.
Yeah, I think that you guys are both making really good points. I'm definitely more of an emotional person.
Yeah.
So that's my problem.
Yeah.
But I would
Well,
have
you're
never.
a revenge person too.
Why would you say that?
Because
who have I ever taken revenge on? Who?
I'm just saying,
Name 3 people.
You hold a grudge.
Yeah, sometimes I'll be grudging, but I've never like sought revenge on somebody before.
That's true. But you hold a grudge.
You guys are so cute.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm just like, damn, I wish there was like a little, little grudge.
We got to bring a girl on here and we can do a matchmaking.
We eventually want to do a matchmaking
down.
thing.
Yeah, I'd love to.
So
come back,
we would,
sure.
yeah, maybe we'll use you as one of our first matchmaking
Bachelors,
people.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down. I just did you guys heard of Jubilee?
Yeah.
You did one of them?
I just did one of them.
No
and,
way.
It was really fun. Yeah, the girl, you should watch it. The girl, it was called Dating in the Dark. So it was like 8 of us in the dark.
Very cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I ended up getting second place. And then once they turned the lights on, the producer was like, "Who would you have chosen if you could see them?" And of course, she chose me.
Hey.
Did you go on a date with her after?
No.
Oh. Was she not?
She wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't my type. Great girl.
Oh, okay. That is so cool.
Is it out? I want to watch it.
Yeah,
It's out. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think you were
that.
telling
That's hilarious.
somebody about it, or like maybe you talked about it on a podcast or something.
Possibly. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I'd have to check it out. But yeah.
Do you have like girls in your life right now that are just like friends? Would you say?
I was thinking about this the other day. I have a couple, but it's hard. Yeah, not really though. Like not really.
Yeah.
I think it's hard. It's hard to maintain friendship with a woman for sure. I think it always leads to something like further. But I think as I get older, I'm just like becoming more picky. Like I know what I want. I know that the type of energy I want around me. I'm not gonna lie to you. It also has been difficult because I don't think I trust people, especially women in my life now. And so it's very hard for me to open up and let you close and like share, my life or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's something I'm trying to figure out. Like,
Why do you say women in your life now?
I think like you guys have been together for 8 years, right? So you saw the struggle that she went through and you saw the struggle that he went through. Yeah. And now 8 years later, you're sitting on this couch, right? Like you've witnessed that entire journey. And I think if I were to meet someone today, they haven't seen that journey that I went through for the last 10, 15 years. And so, there's always that thing in the back of your head of like, are they with me for the right reasons? Like, do they really care about me? Or is it, do they want something? And so I think that's something that I'm battling. But I think at some point you have to be vulnerable and you have to just,
eventually you do. And I think in that type of situation, like it does take searching for people a little longer because you want to find somebody that's on your level, because like you said, like we've been together for 8 years, but we've known each other for 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
So like, and I was asking about do you have any girls who you would consider like have a close friendship with you? Because I personally really think that like friendship is like such a good foundation to a relationship.
Yeah.
Because you really get to know that person outside of like just wanting to like hook up with them or just wanting to like be, like romantic with them.
Yeah. And
we like grew that bond. So like she knew who I was before we started dating. She had like a good idea of the type of guy I was.
Yeah.
And she saw it from a friend perspective before she saw it from like a relationship perspective.
But I think the difference is also access and lifestyle. Like what we have now is not what we had when we started dating. And it's more difficult for him because he already has access and lifestyle. And as it pertains to that, I'm curious, have you ever thought of withholding certain like aspects of your life? Like pulling up in a Tesla is not that crazy. I mean, obviously it's impressive,
well,
right?
He pulls up in like Ubers and like,
you did say that.
Key dates.
Yeah.
So how have you thought about just further delaying that until you really know what somebody's intentions are?
Yeah. I've been doing that. I think I compare it to this girl I dated because I dated a girl for 6 years.
We met her. We like her.
Yeah. Oh, you did meet her.
We met and we liked.
Yeah.
Biggest regret of my life. Like
Breaking up with her or dating her?
no, like fucking her over, like cheating. Like I was that guy in that.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. And I, again, like would never cheat again. Like infidelity to me is the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
But I had to go through it. I had to learn,
Yeah.
you know? But yeah, to me, it's like, dang, can anything ever match that level of friendship and you know, what we had? So I think that's something I'm working through right now, is like just believing and trusting that it can happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see.
Because she kind of knew you before the success. That's interesting. Because you had said earlier that you broke up with her to kind of pursue your business and like to like grow your business.
Well, you know, it's funny. She was with me when I was on Fuckboy Island. Like
Wow.
Yeah, it was actually, she stuck around for that.
Yeah.
Because she knew how bad I wanted to go on the show and like do the thing. But when I came back, it was, I was such a bad person. Like it was at some point, I think she realized like she needs to separate herself. And I think she did, you know, at the time she made a right move, because I was in a really weird spot. But you know, you can't look back.
Would you consider getting back with her?
Yeah, I would. I think, I don't think she would.
Okay.
But I think I would definitely be down for the conversation, and I would put in the time to rekindle that at some point if it were to come back. But I don't think it will. Yeah. It's a sad one for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when we met her, we were like, we like her. You should date
She
her.
came
And
to
you
your
were like,
party.
"You did?"
Yeah. Because me and
Was
you
that
had
your
talked.
party?
Yeah. It was like the Till Death
The Till
party.
Death thing.
And we talked. I talked to you kind of like briefly after that, and I think we were just talking about like girls in your life and stuff. And I was like, "Who was that girl that you brought to the party?" I was like, "She was really cool." Like, and you're like, "Yeah, that's my ex." And I was like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
got you." Yeah, and then okay, sorry, I don't want to keep asking questions.
Yeah,
No,
I
it's
wanna
cool.
keep
I'm
pushing.
open about it. It's definitely a soft spot, so I definitely probably get like emotional, whatever. But like, yeah, like I was jaded for sure. So like,
Are you guys still friends though? Because she's not at all.
I don't think
she got a man's now. Like she's with someone else.
Got you. Now it's like,
Are you happy for her? Or are you like a little bit like,
No, of course not. Well, yes, yes.
I mean,
but like, you know, I hope he gets hit by a bus.
damn.
Sure. Like a big bus.
Like a big
you know?
one. Yeah.
Like a large, is there anything bigger than an 18-wheeler? Like a 26
pretty
wheeler?
big.
I don't
That's
know.
as big as it gets. I think.
That is as big as it gets.
Got it.
But okay.
We'll build a custom one with like 30 fucking, you know what I mean? Like a
Is
big
there-
An
ass bus.
18-wheeler trailing another 18-wheeler.
Exactly,
That's the bus.
Well, I think it's difficult too because you guys started dating when you were really young, right?
Yeah, I was 18.
Oh.
So that's tough.
Yeah.
Like, because that changes it, because there's so many people that start dating like high school or like right out of high school. And it typically is around the age of like 21, I think, where people will break up, like, because you both will be like, we haven't experienced enough. We haven't experienced relationships enough. We need to have that hoe phase or whatever.
Yeah.
It's always with people who start dating young.
Hoe phase is really important. I'm not going to lie.
It's just, it is important
It
to
is
like,
important.
to, especially like you're about to go to college, you're about to like do all these things. Like, I feel like you need to be free for that.
Mm-hmm.
So it sucks though, because it seems like you really liked her and you really liked the relationship, and you probably
for
wish
sure.
it happened a little later or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Timing is everything.
Yeah.
And it was, played out how it played out. But I do agree with you. I think monogamy, if you're going to commit to someone for the long run, like you definitely should have had experimented prior to, because let's be real, like when you're with someone for 50 years, like the physical aspects probably do get mundane.
Yeah, but then you just open it up to swinging. We've talked about that.
Then you just swang.
Yeah. There you go.
Then you just get a little swang. You start swanging.
You bring in other people.
Well,
into the
yeah,
snare.
I think that,
Interesting.
and I think that
We haven't done it yet, but we talk about it.
we talk about a lot of stuff, you know, and I think that bringing that up, that is so important. That type of communication, that awkward kind of uncomfortable communication is so important, because the people who are just completely take that out of the picture of even having the conversation, those are the people who are going to cheat or who are going to do something behind your back because they don't feel comfortable with it. So
yeah, I think we're really realistic with that, because I'm not going to pretend like having sex with one person for the rest of my life is going to be awesome.
And
like we're good, but I think that
we're genuinely planning.
Spicy.
Yeah, but we're also genuinely planning like a lifelong relationship here. So we're being realistic about it.
Because I don't think that personally for me, I don't think that monogamy in that way, it works for some people, but I think that there are like things that you're going to want to try and urges that you're going to want to satisfy. It just really depends on how you want to communicate that to your partner. Because we've talked about like threesomes and swinging and like we have rules, obviously. Like,
but like saying that, we're not doing that now.
We're not doing that
now. We're not
now.
in an open relationship or something like that. Like, I don't believe in that. She doesn't believe in that. We're not into that. But we're having the conversation of like in the future, you know, and like in 5 years, that would mean we'd basically had been dating for like 15 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, 15 years into a relationship, I feel like you can start like getting a little weird, you know?
Yeah, let's get weird. Let's get freaking weird.
I agree. Have you guys seen that show, Ashley Madison? Mm-mm. It's, do you guys know what that is? Mm-mm. So Ashley Madison was a dating app back in the day.
Oh, wow.
And it was the two most famous names at the time were Ashley and Madison. So this guy put them together and started a dating site that was strictly for people that are in relationships. So like if you're married, it's a cheating app basically. And it was huge at the time. But there's a documentary that's #1 on Netflix right now about the app. And there's this couple on there that talks about how like, you know, they're a partnership for life. Like they are each other's people in all aspects. They're a team. But they're realistic like you guys, and so they're having sex with other people, like they're doing their thing. There's boundaries, obviously. They have like a contract that they follow.
Oh, that's smart.
And they seem so like solid in their relationship. So I think it's great. I think it's important.
I think like whatever works for people works for everybody, or whatever works for you works for you. I think that there is like relationships where they think that that's the right move is to open that up in their relationship, and it's maybe like too early, and then you open that floodgate, and then it's like,
because I couldn't do it now.
Yeah, no, you know, like I would not be comfortable.
I think it would have to be like when we're not tired of each other, but we're like, all right, let's try something else, because like it's been 8 years, and I've never personally I've never been like, I need to go out and have somebody else, you know.
It's crazy to think about because like we've been together for like 8. We talk about this all the time. Like we've been together for 8 years. That has been like the quickest 8 years of my life. Like it feels like I've only been with her for like a few years. I don't know what that is, but
it's fresh because it's spicy.
It still feels very fresh, and I think that that's kind of the goal to find with somebody is somebody where you're like reinventing yourself, because like every year we like reinvent ourselves, you know, personally, and then we reinvent our relationship, and we're able to have hard conversations and push the boundaries of our relationships, and it just feels new all the time. So
that's amazing.
That was good relationship advice.
That's really cool. I think it's like because you're both evolving, like you said, as people, and I think someone said like the moment you stop learning from your partner is the moment that it dies. And I feel like you both you're very smart in different ways, and you probably help each other like understand certain things, like
for sure
helping each other grow. So,
and on that note, this is like the part of the podcast where we have you give relationship advice. You can give it to your camera if you want. That makes for a pretty good clip. So yeah, if you had to give some relationship advice based on what you've learned, based on what you hope to learn even, what kind of relationship advice would you give to the people?
Easy. Don't cheat. You will regret it.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Good. Concise.
There you go.
Do you like? Okay. So I guess to wrap up the don't cheat advice, tell them why.
Because it's really fucked up. The other person will get hurt, and you got to put yourself in their shoes. You know, like if you love someone and they come home and you find out you've been cheated on, you're not going to feel good. And also there's something really slimy about, you know, sleeping in bed with your partner, and then also like the day before sleeping in bed with someone else. Like there's something about that to me that's just like gross.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't cheat. Just don't.
All right. And that would wrap it up for this episode of Hanging Out Forever. Go ahead and follow this amazing man at, where are you at?
Divij Vaswani on all platforms.
Right on.
If you can spell that, you probably can't.
We'll put it.
Yeah,
we'll do
we'll put it.
a thing.
Hell yeah.
But thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
This was so nice.
This was fun.
Yeah, thank you. And you're the best.
Love you
Thanks
guys.
for sharing so much of yourself with us. We love you too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're always like, if we had a kid, it'd be Uncle Div. If
Can
that
you
was
name
something
your
you'd
kid
want.
Uncle Bitch?
Maybe not.
You know what? I can call them that as a nickname.
Okay, bet. Perfect.
Yeah, I'll do
Like
it.
Michael, aka Divij.
Yeah, literally. Exactly. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you guys for having me. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. This was fun.
It's great.
It's great.